5 News at 11 begins with breaking news from the D.C. jail. Crowds of people waiting for the January 6 rioters to be released hours after President Trump signed an executive order pardoning more than 1,500 people charged in the insurrection at the Capitol. This has been a rapidly developing scene in South D.C. on the first night of the second Trump presidency. Right now, police are outside that jail in full force, trying to keep the peace. Shamari Stone has been monitoring the situation all night. And Shamari, what's the latest?
Well, there's a lot going on out here right now. Number one, it's freezing. Let me put on my glove. But right over here, you have some counter-protesters, some call them agitators, who are coming here with a bullhorn telling people that the January 6 family members and friends who are over here in this area are traitors. So what happens now is that police are separating the counter-protesters here, who some refer to as agitators, to the families over here. As you can see, this woman is getting very angry right now as we speak.
She broke the windows! She broke the windows!
So as you can see, this is happening right now. Meanwhile, this comes after President Trump signed the executive order pardoning the more than 1,500 January 6 people who are in prison throughout the United States, including here at the D.C. jail. Now, I have an update for you. A person who referred to himself as White House liaison came out and said that 2 January 6 people who were convicts, who were convicted and in prison here at the D.C. jail, that they have been released and they left on the other side of the jail. Meanwhile, earlier tonight, there were approximately, I'd say, 24 people at the front of the jail, and D.C. police moved them back across the street over here. That's before the counter-protesters showed up. Now, just to point out regarding this situation, you have Capitol Police who were injured during January 6th, along with some House Democrats that are saying that President Trump should not have signed this executive order pardoning the January 6 rioters. So there you have it, both sides. Meanwhile, you have police who are blocking these counter-protesters from getting near the family members of the January 6 rioters who are expected to be released. 2 have been released. No word if more are going to be released tonight from the D.C. jail. Back to you in the studio.
Seeing there, Shamari, we will stay on top of that developing story tonight. But meanwhile, today's inauguration was forced indoors because of the bitterly cold weather. That includes the parade that moved to Capital One Arena. Josh Rosenthal spoke to people who waited in line in the cold for hours to get into the event.
Guys, I think it's fair to say that every inauguration is a little bit different from the one that came before it. This inauguration, however, I think it's fair to say, has been way more different than most. A big part of that, of course, is because so much of it had to happen in here. That's Capital One down there. Not too long ago, we heard from President Trump, who addressed quite a few things, including federal workers getting back into the office.
Sir, the